Welcome to the Clarington Chronicle podcast. I'm your host, Mark Stanish. This is podcast episode number 80 for Thursday, April 6th, 2017. Glad to have you join me. This podcast, I'm going to take a look at the latest information on the Courtice Dog Park. Okay, so before we get into our main topic, I just wanted to go over a couple of news items and bit of information that I wanted to share with everybody. I hope everybody had a good week, but we have been switching between rain and no rain all week, and right now it's pouring outside. And that segues into the first item I have. So if you go to the Clarington.net website right now, when I'm recording this on Thursday evening, the Clarington.net website has a warning from Environment Canada. So this is the stage we're at. It's a lot of rain coming down right now. So Environment Canada is warning of heavy rain overnight and on Thursday, with rainfall amounts expected between 30 and 50 millimeters in this area. The rain will begin this evening and continue tomorrow. Rain may change to snow late Thursday. So that's Thursday going into overnight to Friday. We could even get some snow. So Environment Canada here is issuing a rainfall warning with amounts expected above 25 millimeters in a 24-hour period. So they're warning everyone to stay away from rivers, creeks, culverts. You can expect fast-moving water. Drive according to road and weather conditions. I haven't seen too many problems like ponding on the road on the way in today back from work, but still you want to be careful out there because we are getting a lot of rain. So the other item that I wanted to bring to your attention was Durham Road 57. So most of us know 57 that goes up if you're heading towards, say, the Port Perry area. You may take 57, but there's a proposal to change the name. So Clarington Council, this is in the local paper, this March 29, says here that Clarington Council voted March 20th to ask the region of Durham to change the name of the street to Bowmanville Boulevard. The new names would affect the section of Regional Road 57 from its southern terminus to the northern limit of Clarington. So the whole area through Clarington there, including the parts currently named Waverley Road and Martin Road. So I thought that was kind of interesting that, because all of us know 57. If you're new to the area, you may not, but it's sort of a big north-south road just west of Bowmanville. So it's sort of on the west side of Bowmanville. And everyone in the area is pretty familiar with it and uses it fairly often. So it's kind of interesting that if it does become Bowmanville Boulevard, I think that's appropriate. And the other story that I wanted to bring to your attention was another story from the local paper from March 30th. And this one is entitled, "What Did Clarington Council Cost Taxpayers in 2016?" So this is a report on what the compensation was for our council, what it costs taxpayers to have a municipal council. So, according to the article, Clarington Council cost residents $353,880 in 2016. So, this report to Council's General Government Committee lays out how much each council member was paid in 2016. So, each councilor's gross pay was $36,334 last year, except for Councilor Ron Hooper, whose pay was a little less at $34,365 because he made a donation to the municipality. Clarington Mayor Adrian Foster's gross pay was $76,639. And that, of course, was the highest on council as mayor. And that included $11,387 on travel allowance, $1,466 on conferences, and $2,624 other expenses. So it also mentions here that the mayor was also paid $48,600 in remuneration and expenses as a Clarington director of Viridian Corporation. So those are the numbers there. You can go through that. I'm going to try and include a link for you so that you can take a closer look at that as well. Okay, so on to the main topic. I had the opportunity last Wednesday, March 29th, to attend a meeting at the South Courtice Arena that was, there were dual purposes. One was for the Courtice Dog Park, which is what we're going to talk about in detail here, and also for the series of trails that are going to be located south of Highway 2 and along the, just sort of across the road from the Tim Hortons, and they're going to sort of develop, the town plans on developing that area with sort of a proper trail that could be used for multi-purposes. So that particular demonstration was very popular. The the pictures they were showing of what the proposed road would look like there, or the paths and the trails, were just fantastic and very well attended. Dozens of people took a look at them, so it was kind of neat. Like, if you're not familiar with it, then basically along Robert Adams Drive there's a little pond, and so people have been cutting through that pond and accessing the Greenland there, and traveling along the creek there, and going northwards on the east side of the river there. And what the town wants to do is sort of move it to the west side, but make it more formal with a path. So this is going to be great, I think, for anybody who enjoys walking, anybody who enjoys cycling, rollerblading, any of those activities. Will certainly be welcome there, and I think this trail will be welcome. And eventually, it's going to go farther and farther south. But for now, this is a beginning. It's a little bit pricey. I think I heard initial price tag of $500,000, along with stage 2 or something, to be somewhere in the $800,000 range. So it's quite pricey. But something like this, I think, is a gem for our community. I do, of course, have concerns on how they're going to pay for all this. But again, if over time, I think we do need facilities like this. So, at least I think people are going to get some use out of it, judging by the number of people that were there at the meeting. But this podcast is mainly about the Courtice Dog Park. So, if you're not familiar with it, then we have 2 dog parks right now. There's one in Newcastle and there's one in Bowmanville. I did a podcast a couple dozen podcasts ago on the dog parks. Initially, I was sort of hesitant because it's a lot of money. We're talking about $100,000 here to set one of these up, and it's a little pricey. So I would have liked to see more partnership with businesses and sort of more sponsorship of it, and not just putting it onto the tax base. But that's I guess just a philosophical sort of difference there. I think that we could use sponsorship to build some of these things, but in any case, it is coming. They do have a plan to build it by the fall, and the fall of this year, and so it is coming up very quickly. And I just wanted to go over some of the things that I learned at this meeting and share them with you in case you weren't there. So it was a community meeting. I didn't see so many people there. There were perhaps a dozen people that showed up to take a look at the plans on the proposals and the various options. There were staff representatives there, but it was very interesting. I think it was very well done, and I think they have put some thought into it. So there's 3 options. So it's going to be where they're planning on putting this is on the south end of Courtice, along Prestonvale Road at the South Courtice Arena. So there's 3 options there. It's a fairly small piece of land that sort of facility is located on, but anybody who's had kids in soccer or played soccer yourself, you probably played there once or twice, and there is a football field there. But where they're planning on putting it, if you can envision it, so you go in, there's the parking lot. There's 3 options. And I'm going to try and I'll see. I'm trying to get this now going through YouTube, so I might be able to show you some of these pictures. If not, just bear with me. You can also go to a Facebook page, which I'm going to explain in a little bit more detail later, where you can get some more information on the leash-free dog park. But the first option, what they're calling option 1, is located on the far east end, behind the football field. So if you look at a map, you'll see that on the far end, there's 1.5 acres of land roughly there, and that's option 1. Now, the other options are located on the south side. So, just to go back a bit. So, option 1 would be sort of bordering the forest area there. If you look at the South Courtice Arena, it would be sort of bordering the forest. So, a couple of people raised some concerns about perhaps coyotes or wild animals being located around there, but this will be fenced in, so it shouldn't be too much of an immediate problem, and of course owners would be there as well. Now the other 2 options are going to be would be located on the south side, and residents were being asked to pick one of these options or suggestions. On the south side, there's a future soccer field plan, so this would be sort of right abutting the Prestonvale tree farm there. So, you may have gotten your trees for Christmas there. And if you're not aware, there's a tree farm there. And you can, many, many people over the years, I've been going for many years and getting my tree there at the Prestonvale farms. And I believe one year they provided the tree for Rideau Hall. The official sort of Canada Christmas tree came from that farm. But in any case, there's a future soccer field slated on the south end of that property. Now, to the east and to the west of that proposed future soccer field, there's option 3 and option 2. Okay, so option 2 would be the one farthest east, right towards the forest. So it would be the farthest away from Prestonvale Road. And that's a bit smaller, though. It's only about 1 acre, 1.05 acres is what they estimate. And remember, option 1 was 1.5 acres. For comparison's sake, I think Bowmanville's, one of the staff told me there that it's either Bowmanville or Newcastle, but I think Bowmanville's is 3 acres, and I think Newcastle's is 2, something like that, or vice versa. So, we're looking at getting something a little bit smaller than what's in Newcastle and a little bit smaller than what's in Bowmanville. But option 2 was 1.05 acres. Now, option 3, which would be closest to the South Curtis Arena, sort of directly south of the South Curtis Arena, is only going to be 0.95 acres, so even a touch smaller, but it would be close to Prestonvale Road. So you could park and sort of on the west side, right along Prestonvale Road, all that parking along there, and quickly walk to option 3, the small one. To get to option 1, the big one, you'd be looking at you parking at the arena. If you could get parking in sort of the east lot there, it wouldn't be too bad, but still you're looking at a fairly good walk. You got to go to the other side of the football field, right to the other side of the football field. So I think there were a lot of good comments by people that were there, and I think the staff did a great job. Peter Windolf was there, and he did a great job. If you've never met him, he's a fine gentleman, and he did a great job of answering people's questions and concerns. What I'd like to interject here is that I have formed the Friends of the Curtis Dog Park. So if you are supportive of the dog park, you can join the group, and it's a Facebook-based group, and we're going to hopefully have a few meetings. So as this develops over the next few months and into the fall, because they're hoping to have the park operational in the fall, depending on how the seeding goes, how the grass grows, and how they have to grade it and seed it and put the fencing up. Peter was also telling me that it's not very difficult for them to get lighting there. The other facilities in Newcastle and Bowmanville, it was a little bit more difficult because they'd have to run more electrical lines. But here, there's already lighting put in place for the football field, so they could easily create lighting here. So that's sort of it could be a future plan. I don't think they're planning that at launch, but at least it's a possibility and an easier possibility for future expansion. So again, going with the Friends of the Curtis Dog Park, if you are interested in this, if this topic interests you, then please join. Just look up Friends of the Curtis Dog Park. You should get the link there. And, we're still developing it, but hopefully we'll be able to get some discounts or address concerns maybe that what's going on with this park. And because some of the residents were upset that people were walking their dogs in the area like leash-free, and I can understand that. But hopefully we can put some special events together and organize around the topic of dogs and our love for dogs. So if you are interested, again, just look us up on Facebook, and hopefully we'll be able to chat soon. So that's my look at the dog park for now. It is developing, and it's going to be a topic for the rest of the year. And I hope that you have the opportunity to take a look at some of the pictures here. Go to the Facebook page if you like, and you can see more. And just follow the topic because it is sort of interesting for our community. Question of the podcast: are you supportive of a third dog park for Clarington? Are you supportive of a third dog park in Clarington? And that's it for episode number 80 of the Clarington Chronicle podcast. If you'd like to comment on the podcast or have an idea for an upcoming episode, please email me at claringtonchronicle@gmail.com, and you can find this podcast on Twitter at ClaringtonCron, or on one of the Facebook pages dedicated to Clarington or communities within Clarington, or on my website, markstanish.com. You can subscribe for free on iTunes or Android and get instant updates when a new podcast is uploaded. Thank you for listening.